Adam!
Hey!
I'm hoping you remember me. It's your mate Byron. You know,
I do. How are you?
yeah, no, man, I'm good. You know, this goes so far back now, and I don't want to make either of us feel too mature. I mean, we're both young and fresh still, clearly.
Of course, yeah.
It goes back to your first interview where you were 11 years old and I was 14, and we were just talking about your early career.
We're
Man,
talking about, the playground.
yeah, it was a really dull interview, but since then we've had lots to talk about. No, mate, look, I'm really happy to be talking to you again, and so much has happened since we last spoke. Most importantly, the new record label, the new creative freedoms you're enjoying, and the release of the new album, June the 12th. It's all happening, the original High. What a time to talk to you.
It's all happening. I'm so excited.
Before we talk about the tracks of which you've teased us, Adam, with 4. I mean, we've got 4 already you tease. We'll get to the 4 tracks.
I know.
Just the importance of having the right creative team around you. It's not about dissing old teams, nothing of the sort. But certainly the move from RCA to Warner Brothers for you, this strikes me, all of this material strikes me as the sort of material you want to make without any considerations outside of the art of making music. Would I be right?
Yeah, I mean, I think it really, I don't know if the label really has as much of an impact on the difference of this, the albums. I think it's more the creative side of things. Max Martin and Shellback are the 2 producers that I worked with on this thing. And they I came to them with a demo of a song called The Original High, and they really loved what they heard. And they thought, this is a direction we want to go down with you. And we'd actually love to oversee the entire project. And I said, you know what? That is music to my ears. That's the kind of thing that I've always wanted. And they've done an incredible job with me of putting this thing together. And then Warner has done a beautiful job of taking this album and getting it out there and sharing it with the world. So I'm thrilled. I'm really, really happy.
Your fans are thrilled. People who haven't discovered you in the past are going to be thrilled. I truly believe this takes you to yet another level of what's already been such a great career, man. Ghost Town, the first single. You talk about Max Martin. Wow. I mean, the song lyrically has its message, and the production just seems to ram that message home. I mean, even just the vocal effect in the verse, it's like you're in some sort of lonely cavern or something, like I feel for you, even just the way it's produced.
Yeah, these guys that I worked with, they're masters at what they do. They're unbelievable. And to get to sing for them and get a little direction and guidance and then obviously input my own. I have a lot of my own ideas that they were really receptive to as well. So it was great. And this first single, the minute we finished it, I said, this is definitely the first one. And I felt that it's the perfect introduction. It starts out just vocal and acoustic guitar, which is just a really nice way to reintroduce myself, I think, to everybody and say, hey, remember me? This is what I've been going through. This is what I'm feeling. And then we hit that hard left turn with a crazy deep house beat and that whistle. And I knew that it would surprise people and it would grab people. And I think that's what it's doing.
And damn you for making it so infectiously catchy. It's constantly in my head.
Aw.
Just all the time. I mean, I challenge anybody to get the whistle hook out of their head. So addictive. My heart's a ghost town. My heart is a ghost town. I can relate, Adam. I mean, my heart's been a ghost town since I unsuccessfully asked you out on a date in 2010.
Is that what that was?
That's what it was meant to be. What did you think it was? I asked you out for a Chinese meal. I got nothing.
Yeah, I don't know what we were doing.
And I remember, you know what really shattered me later as the years went on? You rejected me on the basis of being a little bit too hairy and not clean-shaven. Years later, you had a beard yourself, you hypocrite.
I'm such a hairy beast now. Yeah, I am. I gave in. I just said, you know what? I can't shave anymore. I don't want to shave anymore. It's too much. I'm over it.
See, I was ahead of my time, Adam. I'm telling you, seriously. You just,
You were. You're a trendsetter, man. You're a trendsetter.
You know what? I was the one that got away. That's okay. You got to live with it.
All right. Think about it.
You sound fine.
I was writing I was writing, a lot of these songs. I mean, maybe, who knows? Who knows who they're about,
Sure. I mean, well, let's think of another song that is about me. Another Lonely Night. Obviously, you were channeling me again when you wrote that one.
See, isn't that the beauty of this album is that everybody, no matter who you are, you can listen to these songs and you can really find your own. You can really find your own story in the songs. It's amazing.
It is amazing, and that's the story that's definitely in my head. That's clearly not the story. Look, with that track, that to me again, there is a track, another classic example, I think, of Adam being Adam. Those of us who've enjoyed your musical journey, there's emotion, it's unpredictable, it's very eclectic. That to me, in being a bit of a surprise, is not a surprise, if that makes any sense whatsoever.
No, it does. Thank you, and thank you for saying that. I mean, when we first started doing this album, when we first started coming up with songs for it, I was actually in Stockholm, Sweden, and I had no idea what it was going to sound like. I really didn't. I knew like the stuff that I was enjoying at the time. I knew that we wanted to sing about that I wanted to write and sing about like real things and real emotions and things that everybody has been through. But I didn't know how it was going to sound. And as we finished track by track, I was so excited because I thought, oh, this is another color for this album. This is another color. And it's, I like the diversity on it.
I think vocally on that track, you really have found even more dimension. And look, you're not going to say this, but those who observe from a distance can say you are one of the best voices going around in the industry. And yet, you're finding another level vocally. I mean, I'm not a song, I'm not a singing teacher. I can't tell you technically what it is that you're doing, but I can hear you pushing yourself and doing different things vocally that I haven't heard you do on previous recordings, which is amazing to think that you could get to a level that you're at, but keep working on the vocals. You've clearly done that again.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, when we're in working with Max, one of the things we talked about was kind of discovering and getting into like new vocal colors and territory, and like with that track, I like the verses in particular, and also with Ghost Town, it's more of a case of me pulling back as opposed to pushing. I mean, a lot of times I'm known for being more aggressive and kind of louder and more, I push stuff, and that's kind of my style. But we pulled on this, and it creates a different emotion. It's very internal and it's a little bit quieter and it feels more intimate. And that's what we were trying to go for. And I'm really happy that he challenged me to do that because I felt like it gave these songs like a different feel than what people are used to, I think, from me.
It drew me in. Yeah. And that's exactly what it was. Now that I think about it, now that you say it in that way, it draws you in. It's a different feel altogether. What about the ballad Underground?
Yeah.
I mean, that has a real rhythmic vibe to it. The production almost has a sort of a contemporary R&B sensibility to it. But there's a song, I reckon, where the quality of the songwriting is so good. Yes, it's great to have Max on board, and he's a genius. But that one I could just hear a cappella. That one I could just hear played on an acoustic guitar. I just think that's just a great song.
Thanks. Yeah, I mean, the vocals and the melody were always the first priority in all of these songs. I mean, I was working with amazing producers that put together incredible tracks, but I loved that he wanted the voice to be the main focal point, which is really exciting.
Yeah, totally. I mean, the one thing I would say, I know there's been a lot of minimalism in a way on some of these tracks we're going to hear from the original High. Evil in the Night, I do like that because I admit you do kind of attack that a bit more, and that's kind of the fiery Adam on that one.
That's kind of like, that's signature. That's a little more signature Adam on that one.
You can't let it all go, Sometimes you just got to let it rock, right?
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to help yourself.
Yeah, of course. There's a couple other songs on the album where you definitely hear me going for it. So
good. I've been asked to ask you about the song with Brian May, Lucy. Obviously, you've spent plenty of time with Brian and Queen. I really enjoyed that show, and that's another whole conversation for another day. Is Lucy the sort of song where we're going to hear that fire?
Definitely. I mean, it's a little bit of both, but it's definitely got a little more aggression in it, and it's dark, and it's about a girl who make some bad choices.
Yeah.
Brian May delivers a scorching guitar solo in the middle of that song.
Oh, Well, does Brian May know any other type of guitar solo? I mean, that is just so cool to have him on a record. I suppose when you've got downtime and you're touring with one of the...
it was a really good day.
Oh, man, you're touring with one of the greatest rock bands of all time. It's bound to come up in conversation. I suppose you're spending time together on buses and planes and hotels, and I suppose it's a natural thing to talk about doing a song together. Was that, I imagine that's how it would come about, just a simple conversation when you're on the road somewhere?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, exactly. It just came up, and I played him a demo that I thought would be the right song, and he enjoyed it, and he said, "This is cool," and he's like, "Yeah, I have some great ideas," and when we were in LA, we got together in the studio, and he laid them down, and I just love it because it's Brian May doing his signature guitar work on a hip hop beat, which I think is something that I don't think he's ever done before. So I mean, the nature of the track is a little bit of a departure for him, and I think that's what makes it so genius. It's this like fusion thing.
I love that. I love that in recent times we've seen Paul McCartney work on contemporary recordings. I think it's great these iconic musicians keeping their minds open to what's going on out there. That must be exciting for you as well, to know that someone like Brian still has an open mind.
He's amazing. I mean, he's, as a musician, and as a person, it seems to me that he's always kind of searching for truth, and looking for answers and inspiration. And it was a pleasure to be on tour with him this year.
Totally, man. And what about the collaboration with Tove Lo? Now, there's another great artist. You've been teasing us with a few songs. That isn't one of them so far. Well, can you give us a bit more of a tease on that one?
It's called Rumors, and her and I wrote that. That was one of the earliest songs that was written for the album when I first got to Stockholm. And we sat down and we were just talking about, gossip and how people talk about each other and how it's all kind of gotten a little out of control with social media and comments and chat rooms and on all this stuff. And we were just talking about it, and we were saying, you need to have people in your life that you have a real connection with, that you can trust, that you don't have to worry about all that stuff with. And so that's what the song's about.
Yeah, and that's so important now. It's getting kind of crazy, isn't it? And not just for you, man, as someone that's in the public eye, but I reckon for anybody. That whole thing now...
For anybody.
It's huge, isn't it? I mean, for you, you would check your feed every once in a while. It must be a little bit overwhelming at times, mainly tweets from me.
About your broken heart, yeah.
But seriously, dude, it must be intense for you because things move very, very fast. I don't know, I'm a radio guy that a few people know. I might have 20,000 followers or something. You've got 100 times that. You probably can't keep up with that stuff, right? It must be very difficult.
It's a little overwhelming. I mean, I just always kind of imagine, I wonder, when you're younger, like a teenager, and you're just kind of like discovering who you are and what you're about and all that, I can't imagine how social media feels in high school. Because when I was in high school, we didn't really have anything like that. So I look back on that. I could wonder, like, God, what would have life been like if during high school you could go on Facebook and see what people were saying about you, and it's just such a different world.
Yeah, this is what kids deal with now at school, and teachers now have to have policies on this stuff. And I can't imagine it either, man. It's a crazy thing, and I think that will strike a chord, even on a lyrical level, to deal with that. Overall, the album, in summary, because we only have a few minutes, I'd talk to you all day, and you'd eventually get people in here and remove me from this studio, as you have in the past, actually. Are you okay? I just worry, there's a bit of a lyrical through line here. My heart is a ghost town, another lonely night. I mean, is everything all right, Adam? I mean, the music's great. It's just the lyrics. I just want to make sure everything's fine. There's nothing I can do.
I'm all right. Yeah, I'm good. I'm dating my album now, so we're in a very exclusive relationship. And I will be taking my album. I'm taking my album on an amazing vacation all over the world. And that's what we're about to go do. So I feel good now.
That's really cute. And the thing is, with your relationship with the album, you sometimes invite others to join in, which is a bit kinky.
Yes, my album and I are exhibitionists. Yes.
Well, I'm so excited. And I must say, is it Captain Crunch or Cheerios there? Because you're making me hungry, man.
Oh no, you can hear it. I thought for sure that was silent. I guess I took time to have a snack because I've been working all day and I'm starving.
No, I want you to. I want you to feel
I'm
comfortable.
so sorry.
It's as if we're really close friends, and you're just so comfortable with old Byron that you can just munch away there on your Captain Crunch. Look, I like this. Do more of it.
I'm
if
so
anything.
sorry.
No,
It's a lot healthier than Captain Crunch. It's like a low sodium rice cracker.
Oh my God, you have quit on life. No, I'm kidding. That sounds really that sounds really boring, but incredibly healthy. And I know we've spoken in the past about your decision to make health a priority, and I know you have done for years now. So that's obviously stood by you because you've been pretty busy touring with Queen and doing your thing. So that's an important message for the kids. Well, as we wrap up, isn't it?
Yeah, eating healthy makes you feel better.
And then you end up dating your album, which is brilliant. Okay.
And then you date your album, and that's like bizarre and like, existential and all that. So there you go.
Now, June 12th is the magic date, the original high, the pre-orders that already rushed into the Australian top 10 just on pre-orders before you've even put it out. So congratulations, man. The single's hot on iTunes, Ghost Town, Shazam, Shazam. I mean, it's just everywhere right now. So we'll obviously stand by for any word on you touring the new album. And I know that I'll be the first person that finds out, obviously.
Obviously.
I mean, this is stupid. I shouldn't have even wasted my breath saying that, Adam. Man, great to catch up with you again.
You too.
Project U, obviously, is right behind this. Lock In Radio. We really appreciate your time, Adam. Thanks again, man.
Hey, thanks. It was good talking to you, man.
Later.
Bye.